Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another video of, this one is going to be the LUMNAH Acres Barn Build. I'm going to ask Al and Gina, what are we officially calling this structure? Officially, it's big. It's 40 by 40. I wanted to just talk about, before we get there, we haven't been there yet, other than to pour the concrete. We did that a little while ago. You can see the concrete here behind me. I wanted to go over some of the way that we're going to put this building together and what it's going to be comprised of. I might just, let's go outside and take a peek at my trailer. It's all loaded and ready to go. Let's go. Let's take a look and see what's inside. It's supposed to be a great week for building this week. It's going to be in the 70s. Right now it's outside here, it's 52 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little bit chilly. It's not usually this cold in the middle of the summer. You can see we've got all the lumber loaded. This is 2x6 pressure treated. These are 2x8s. These are going to be the top plate material inside and outside of the beams when we put those up. Got all the tools loaded, batteries charged. We're going to be doing a lot this time cordless. So my goal is not to have a gas generator going. We'll be having someone sending me a power station, solar powered. So at some point when we receive that, we'll get that plugged in, get it going, and that will help to keep all the batteries charged, as well as I believe it might run an air compressor. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so we're loaded, everything's ready. We are geared up and ready to go. So let's go back inside and I'll go over some details. I am going to sit right down and make myself comfortable on, let's just suppose this is the slab, the 40 miniature scale, I guess, but I'm more concerned about the corners. There'll be 4 corners, of course. The wall height is going to be 12 feet tall. The trusses they're a 512 pitch roof. And then it's going to be a scissor or a cathedral truss inside, so it'll be a 2.5 12 pitch. So let's just, for example, I just want to run through how we're going to do this on site. When we get there, it's going to go pretty quickly. So I just wanted to kind of go over this. I'll probably go over it again when we get there as well. So just these are all just scrap pieces. This is the sill seal that we use, comes in a 50-foot roll, 6 inches wide, or actually 5.5. So I'm just pulling this out so you can see. This will lay on the concrete, nice and flat. We've already measured, so we know it's exactly 40 by 40. 40, 160 feet all the way around. So the first thing that we'll do, probably that'll be subject to change. We're going to have a kind of a meeting when we first get there. I might also mention we're going to be doing a lot of video. Al and Gina will be videoing from their perspective. Ken's Carpentry will be videoing from our perspective. And I'm pretty sure some of that will be duplicate, but from different angles. And you might pick up on some things that are intriguing, we'll say. So, sill seal down. Then we will start with a pressure-treated 2x6 sill plate on top of the sill seal. We'll be snapping lines. Again, making sure, as you go, we always verify, making sure that everything is staying consistent. The slab is 40 by 40, so the pressure-treated plate all the way around will be 40 feet by 40 feet. So it will be there'll be sill seal under this. Where there are garage doors, openings, or entry door openings, those will be allowed for. So I'm just going to set this. I guess that's all right. That'll work. Nope, it won't. My 2x6 is a little bit long for this table. Okay, so we'll set it so that those butt together like that all the way around, then we'll cut out for the doors and so on. After we've set those, we'll be using post beam pockets that will set on, there'll be one on each corner, and then every 8 feet there'll be one. So there's a hole in the bottom. We'll drill an anchor bolt. We didn't put anchor bolts in the head. I don't really like doing that because if you're off a little bit, after you put anchor bolts in the concrete, while pouring concrete, it really limits you to any movement of where these would be placed. So we'll start, this is 1 inch high, which will affect the length of the post going up for future thought. So once we set this, you can see that hole. We'll drill the anchor bolt, set that in, and then there'll be like a 12-foot 6x6. Sets in there really snug. This has been outside. This is just a scrap piece. It's pretty waterlogged, pretty, it's expanded a little bit. So anyway, that will go down, that will sit all the way down into there when we're done. And then there are, these are called joist hanger nails. We'll use those. They're all pre-punched. You have to use these in this application because they're a hardened nail that's designed for, like you couldn't use a roofing nail or an aluminum nail, or this is just the appropriate nail. So that will be going through in 4 spots. 4 spots on each side, holding this in place. So we have a box of those ready to go. That takes care of down below what that will look like. These 6x6s will be to the top of the top plate, will be exactly 12 feet from the concrete. So we'll take a calculation, we'll subtract 1 5/8 inches for the treated, a 1 inch for the steel, for the post pocket, and then we'll go all the way up. And then on top, let me show you how that construction is going to look so that we can we have to know all these measurements before we can cut the posts. Just to talk about this part, if this was the top of the post, we're going to be putting in a 2x8 top plate, 2 of them. There'll be one, so this is a corner. We'll notch in, how do I show this? We're going to notch in 1.5 inches and cut a slot out 1.5 inches by 7 1/4, because that's what 2x8s measure. Mostly they vary from 7 1/4 to 7 1/2. I want to make sure that none of the 2x8s are sticking up above the top of the post, because then you get problems like that. So we will make sure to tie all of those in. But I want to show you as if this was the top of the post. So I'm going to take this apart and we'll look at that. Okay, so take that off. Take the nails off. Okay. we're actually heading out tomorrow to start. We're going to be over there. I'll talk about that in just a second. But I want to make sure, this is part of what we're going to be using. I want to make sure we have it, I'll set it by the door so that we don't drive off without it. How can I demonstrate this? So this is a 2x8. If this was the top of the 6x6, it'll mount up here. But again, we'll take a notch out of here so it's actually sitting in like that. As well as over here, there'll be two of them. One on each side. Let me take this down. Okay, so we'll have a total of 20 posts, 20 6x6s going all the way around. And then we'll have a 2x8 flush to the inside of the 6x6 and a 2x8 flush to the outside of the 2x6. 6x6, I'm sorry. Then the very top plate will be a 2x6. So it'll create a U shape. Let me turn that so you can see from the end. La, 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 la. I'm getting tired and we haven't even built. Hopefully that'll stay on there. 2x6, 2x6. So there will be pressure treated 6x6 of that post that comes up on the inside. So we'll have something to nail into both sides with this. At the corner, well, let's put this on as well, just so you can get an idea of the entire look. That's going, so that'll be nailed really well. Like that. So that, the 6x6 post, the top of it will come up into here so that, again, we can nail all the way around into that post. So at the corners, we'll have to do something different because we can't notch out the entire 6x6 all the way around. There just wouldn't be anything left, as well as we need to have, when we're at a corner, having, we'll set this back at a corner, we'll set it back so that we have room to bring this one across so that it sits on top of that 6x6, the outer one. The inner one, it'll probably show up a lot more clearly when we're on site, but we're going to have to use a joist hanger on the interior on one of them. If this was the corner, this bottom 2x8 is going to extend all the way in, short 1.5 inches, so that this one can come by. But this inner 2x8 that's coming in will be mounted to a joist hanger on the 4 corners, because we just can't get all 4 pieces of the 2x8 onto a 6x6. Short of doing it a different way, and then it's not as strong. You could 45. Let's take this off. You're going to stay there. We could 45 these and have them coming in, but then you're only getting a really small amount of support in there. So this will be a lot stronger the way we're going to do it. So that's a brief overview. So this 2x6 sitting on top will represent exactly 12 feet from the concrete floor. That way all of the siding that we have for it will be the correct length, and we'll be in good shape. So once that's all up, we have the next process. We'll be putting putting purlins in between the posts at 2-foot increments all the way up, so that we can secure the siding to that. Once that's done, the trusses are due in any day. Who knows, they may arrive today. I'm not sure. So the editing part and the video, when you see construction, Alan, Gina, and I are going to coordinate so that we try to get as much as possible the videos all together like the same day, so you can see progress from both videos. Should be fun. That it may fluctuate a day or so. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, this is just a short little video. Hope you enjoyed kind of the nuts and bolts of how this is going to work. At least this aspect of it. There's a lot more detail to come as we go. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And hang on, I'm not sure when the first video will come out of the actual construction, but we are ready to rock and roll. All right. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.